What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Kpmg back with another cryptocurrency video. As always, appreciate if you like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So, to kick things off with Fidelity Digital Asset and this partnership that brings crypto to wealthy Asian investors. As we can see right here, and I love this picture. So, Fidelity Digital Asset Services has announced a new partnership with digital asset platform Stack Funds for the purpose of satisfying crypto investment demand from high net worth individuals in Asia. Notice they're based out of Singapore. Coincidence? I think not. Of course, Singapore is just one of the friendlier jurisdictions. Hotbed for fintech in the future, and they always seem to be on top of it. Now, what do I want to talk about in this video? Well, there's just a bunch of information, some headlines I want to go over, and it'll paint a picture high level. We also know recently, of course, Bitcoin has been flying through 13,000, and what else are we noticing besides the price? And I know you guys want, a bull run, and, newbies want to believe that markets just go straight up and up and up, and markets, when they go down, but that's just not the case. Markets will typically go up like stairs, steps to a stairs, and when they go down, they're so abrupt. These quick falls that we've seen in crypto, it's like taking an elevator. And we also saw as Bitcoin's price was appreciating, the hash rate dropped roughly 40% and caused 100,000 transactions to actually back up everything on this little 5 transaction per second network. We have to consider this, all right? You have to look at the technology, you have to look at what's going on. You cannot invest how you feel, you will be burned, all right? Now, just something to kind of talk about when we've looked in the past. Now, and if you're basing it off historical data and you're bullish, that's completely fine. I just want people to not, invest per emotions as much. I want them to really look at the right time to enter and exit in the market. Also, we've seen across the board, remember in 2017, like even spring 2017, I remember seeing headlines of like Ripple might be partners with Walmart and, or MoneyGram talks and all these silly things. And it was just so much speculation, and price would move 50% in a day sometimes. And what we have to understand is, well, how far have we come in 2020 in terms of infrastructure? And obviously, that price will follow that, provided demand and liquidity build, which I obviously believe it will. I mean, look at these players that are getting into this. So in 2020, compared to Ripple might be a partner with Walmart, we're getting news of 10% of remittance flow from the United States to Mexico is moving through XRP. Now, the majority of you are not going to get that, at least the newcomers, but the people that have been here understand how big this is. A piece of protocol, a digital asset that you happen to own, is already doing 10% of the remittance flow between one of the largest remittance corridors in the world. And keep in mind, they processed $54 million worth of transactions in the first week of February 2020 in XRP. Now, you have to multiply this by obviously the other currency pairs, starting with the illiquid corridors, and you start understanding the combinations that can take place. And we'll show you some documents with Seagate, which was an early Ripple investor, Uber, and Amazon. So you guys decide for yourselves. I know where this is going. I know what I hold. You guys do your own research, and please don't, take everything I share here with a grain of salt and double check it, all right? Because I'm clearly excited about the space, but it's from years of research, years of investing, trading, and looking at all of this. So, in other news, we've also seen, I believe, Anthony Albanese. He was I believe that's how you say his name, a former chief regulatory officer at the New York Stock Exchange. Now he's supposedly leaving his job to join Andreessen Horowitz. And you remember when Ripple was part of that fund as well. They're a major capital firm, and they're focused on investments in crypto and blockchain, and they are going to make a killing. What is the name? Something Dixon. There's a man and a woman that kind of run that, or at least did. Last when I talked about it, and of course they've talked about XRP in the past. All right, we'll keep going. So right here, guys, Wrath Economan showing this document. We've shown this in the past, but what I want to touch on is what he even emphasized here. Notice, policymakers, and they're highlighting Bank of England, which is a paid RippleNet customer, Mark Carney, all them best buds with Mnuchin, Trump, all that, and then SAMA, the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. Remember what we saw? There was like, a dozen or 15 banks that they were going to test in a sandbox environment with Ripple's technology, and they said, no, you're good. It's all, we already went through it. We understand it. It's good. You don't even need a sandbox environment. That is some friendly, policy making right there. Also, 40 plus relationships globally. And we'll kind of go through this, and I want to show you some interesting points. Leveraging blockchain to change the game. And please understand, XRP is literally the secret sauce of Ripple. They didn't come this far to come this far. They are going to be utilizing it, but some people are just simply not patient enough, period. All right? And the cool thing is, other organizations and groups and people can utilize this digital asset as well. So Right here, 2013 to 2018, digital assets market capitalization, $1.5 billion. I wish I had the foresight to invest then, but at that time in like 2013, I thought that, Bitcoin was just Chinese electric money that you made out of thin air. I didn't understand the benefits of blockchain, let alone DLT. All right, right here, May 2018. It's funny because we're closer to 400 billion today, and it's been 2 years since then, but 436 billion. All right. Now watch, remember, banks didn't start expressing interest until Bitcoin was 90,000% up. Why? All right, question everything. Obviously, I believe that there's going to be altcoins that crush it in this market, and I also love Ethereum, all right? And plenty of other altcoins that are even built on it or agnostic and run on it, etc., all right? QNT, Link, HBAR, on a hash graph, even IOTA, believe it or not, is in tons of documents, all right? Right here, banks are dead. Next, 436 billion. We also have digital asset market cap regulation. We need regulation. Still got there. Right here, digital asset market capitalization. Goldman Sachs announces plans for digital asset trading. Interesting. And keep in mind, this is in a Ripple document sharing this. So this isn't just me, saying this. This is something that they would present to policymakers, central banks, governments. Right here, regulation is coming, 2018. 2 years later, I'm still looking at my watch over here. And also, there was something, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. So the SEC votes for modernizing regulatory framework for derivatives use. Why? I mean, I get that they're doing this in derivatives, ETFs, all of this are important to undertake and kind of understand the management and get everything in gear. But you've already declared clarity on Bitcoin and Ethereum. How hard would it be to declare, XRP, whether it is a security or a commodity or some version of utility token? It's been years, and it literally XRP was one of the second biggest digital assets that used a different type of consensus mechanism, period. And right here, we even have Kpmg expands crypto management suite to boost institutional adoption. I know we've mentioned Kpmg numerous times. They are, in fact, one of the big four. So you shouldn't be surprised because, Kpmg, Deloitte with the Blue Altitude Gateway and Ripple connections, PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers talking even on Ripple Insights pages, speaking highly of DLT and saying it's going to be literally the next revolutionary step. I think we can, see what's going on, even Ernst & Young. Now, I'm not trying to be hypey or anything, but obviously the big four, these big four accounting firms, these big four professional network service firms in the world play a consultant-like role in tons of technology. And you have to understand they are heavily involved in payments. There's no question, there's no disputing it. Yes, they know Ripple. I've seen plenty of documents and connections, right up there with even groups like Accenture, right? And also Kpmg is heavily involved with also Target 2, the whole Euro system as well in real-time gross settlement. Next up, let's keep going. Where am I? So I want to keep going through this document. This is pretty cool. So hopefully you guys are still with me because I wanted to show you this. Sorry if I'm always ranting as always. And we have Seagate, Accenture, some other groups as well as investors. We can see these offices. Notice why I say Luxembourg. We know even Chris Larson's connection in that region. Not a coincidence. Found in 2012. And we'll speed through this. All right, removing friction, payments, global, blah, blah, blah. We have dLocal. Remember how far they've come, obviously, as an XRP partner. We know their connections throughout China and the Latin American region. We've talked about Cambridge. We've talked about FleetCor utilizing XRP. Qualix, one of the first XRapid customers. MoneyGram, Earthport. I mean, come on. Pretty clear here. Siam Commercial Bank, SEB, etc. All right? So I thought this was funny. Elegant experience. Zero tolerance for failures, low cost, on-demand, real-time, global. Just like the word elegant. And as we keep going through here, guys, we have to understand the current infrastructure and the needs of the customer. So correspondent banking network and liquidity between even direct pairs. Good luck in the illiquid markets. We know there's risks, cost, delays, payments are even lost 6% of the time. It takes 2 to 6 days, 2 to 3 days to even get payments. Bottom line is we want real-time payments. We see Australia, we see what's happening in Europe, we see what's happening in the US with all of these real-time payments initiatives. Which groups have been years ahead with this technology utilizing DLT? All right. Remember, even per Neum, RippleNet cloud enabled a single API. They join, of course, the ISO standards body, the governing board. We have in tandem also, huge groups mentioned here on this right here and talking about no single experience to move money globally. Notice they're all fragmented. This is what we're calling silos. They're all their individual little, ledger, their own individual little organization. We want interoperability. We want to break down these walls and break down the barriers so we can take the most efficient payment routes, meaning efficient in terms of speed, cost, whatever the customer sees fit. Some customers are going to want to use this network for this benefit. Others will want to use this network. To each their own. It's literally going to be creating a level playing field. And I believe that there's going to be many crypto assets that play a role, but I'm just betting big, and I mean big, that XRP will play a big role in cross-border payments. All right. And I mean, arguably they already are, but I'm waiting for it to really scale up, and I'm waiting to obviously see price move following that demand. All right. Let's see, global banking. We know unbanked, underbanked. We've seen Xcurrent as a solution. We've seen XRapid, which is now on-demand liquidity, settlement infrastructure for XRP. Notice focusing on emerging markets. Notice 2 of the BRICS nations. We already have been taking over Mexico and Philippines quite nicely. We know that Ripple was even meeting with the central bank, or the governor of the central bank in Brazil earlier this year. We also know their connections to India. We've heard Ashish Barla say that we already have, and this was like 2018. We have 50% of all of India in our pipeline as a customer. So you guys connect the dots, decide for yourselves. I don't believe for 1 second all those little bluffs that India says they're threatening to ban crypto. And then we have, these groups, Kasha, we have 34 branches opening up and offering crypto services. You know what's coming, guys. Just read between the lines. All right, talking about Uber, Amazon, Seagate, again with Xvia, of course. OnePay. We don't have to go through this whole thing. I just wanted to show you. Fragmented, there's cost delays, etc. But then today, global payments with Ripple, no risk, low cost, instant, one API, XRP at the center of it, potentially just this giant type of globalized pool of liquidity where you can pay half a spread instead of going USD to XRP. There's a fee. XRP to, Philippine peso. There's a fee. And obviously I should probably take a more illiquid corridor as an example. But guys, you'll be paying half a spread, half the time. And even if the transaction with human intervention takes 3 minutes or 5 minutes, that is better than 3 days and, massive fees. So to me, absolute no-brainer. And there are groups that understand this as well. All right. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to be able to solve every problem, but I'm saying start at the illiquid corridors and ramp up. And the lower we stay low, the more I start entertaining these weird conspiracies of, sudden price rises or, price sets. And, to each their own, guys. You can roll your eyes at that. I don't care. Believe what you want. I know how to manage my risk as well. So please just be safe. All right. Yeah, so that's the gist of that. I've been ranting, so I'm probably going to cut this video short. I want to touch on a few more things. So right here, guys, in Iran, so Iran's new crypto law requires Bitcoin miners actually to sell Bitcoin directly to the central banks to fund imports. You can read more about this, really interesting. The Ministry of Energy requires licensed crypto miners to sell the coins they mine directly to the central bank. I never thought, that would be happening, but what do you know? Day by day, and welcome to 2020. Next, remembering what we just read, we can see Iran becomes the first country to use Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. The Iranian government amended its crypto regulations so that miners can redirect crypto to Iran's finance mechanism for international trades as the country's fiat continues to suffer from both the US sanctions and the, COVID pandemic. Very interesting, and of course this will also have a rippling effect. I'm still watching the BRICS nations. I'm watching the CBDCs being developed by nations across the board. And please, newcomers, just understand Kpmg, all these coins, they are not a threat to XRP. Central bank digital currencies, whether it's a digital currency or fiat, is still utilized for XRP because they need a bridge. Now, CBDCs can expedite the domestic, or at least in the country, that payment process, but XRP is expediting the cross-border aspect of it. So please understand that when CBDCs and domestic payment rails get faster, it is that much better, because now when they use cross-border, they're going to want that to go up as well. Right now, these groups, just like David Short said, if they utilize cross-border payments and they are so fast, it'll point to show how ineffective and how inefficient their domestic infrastructure is. So very interesting. It's almost like I guess I want to say what Ripple employees say, the chicken and egg problem. All right, and to finish things off, guys, so I got this email from Coinbase, and I am in one of the eligible states below. I will not be doing this with Bitcoin, just so you know. You guys teach their own, but I'm not getting burned with this. You can borrow cash now using Bitcoin as collateral. So I can borrow up to $20,000 from Coinbase using my Bitcoin as collateral. I pay just 8% APR with no credit check. Interesting with the credit check aspect. I'm sure that Coinbase, obviously, they probably will be some type of bank in the future. We know Brian Brooks, he oversees the whole banking system. He's the chief legal officer. We already have Kraken with that special, what is it? Something deposits vehicle. I'll go over it, but essentially like a banking charter in the United States. Pretty obvious. We can see how smug Coinbase is. I was talking to my buddy Mark here on Twitter back and forth, and he made some good points about, wouldn't be surprised to see Coinbase become a bank. And I completely agree. So I want to see them be able to offer this for other crypto assets as well. Imagine with your Coinbase card in the future and even being able to use XRP as collateral. Specifically, my little daydream fantasy is post moon, where I can barely put anything up and actually, use my money and have it work for me. Very, very exciting. All right. Sell your home. All right, right here. So how it works. Have you ever needed cash for something urgent like a car, home repair, etc.? In the past, you might have sold Bitcoin to cover it and incurred a taxable gain or loss. Now you don't have to borrow up to 20K. If you have Bitcoin in your account, you can borrow up to 30% of that value. Now you have to be safe because that amount of collateral, if Bitcoin's price just dumped, I think you guys know what happens. So I will not be doing this specifically with Bitcoin, especially now that we are getting volatile and you guys know my market sentiment. Yeah, just keep an open mind, all right? But I'm excited to see this being opened up for other assets as well. And then right here, avoid selling your Bitcoin. You can see the low interest rate, 1 year term. So each month you only need to pay the interest and you can wait up to 1 year to repay the principal. But honestly, if you're taking even 20K, you got to pay it back in a year plus that not principal, but the interest, it could get pretty pricey. So just be aware of this, guys. I don't want anybody getting burned specifically in 2020. There's been tons of economic hardship across the board. It's exciting and I love to see this ability, but I will not be taking advantage of it. If you guys are great with your money and you know how to utilize debt in your favor, by all means, I wish you luck, but please be safe. So I'm going to cut this video short now. I have a bunch of information, so I'll try to get some out this weekend. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday and I will see you in the next video.